Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Trial by Magus. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the old mainstays of the original tech lines. Well, not the original. The Yakovlevs were an addition to the game after it was initially released. And the Yak-1 is one of the premier signature fighters at Tier 5 for the Soviet Red Air Force. The Yakovlev Yak-1 is one of the advanced designs coming from the original Yakovlev trainer aircraft, exemplified by the Yak-7, which also occupies a slot at Tier 5 on the multi-role fighter line. The Yak-1 here, however, does not carry rockets like the heavier and more cumbersome Yakovlev 7. The Yak-1 actually has a very small amount of weapons. You don't see anything on the wings because there isn't anything on them. The only weapons she has are a cannon that fires through the hub and a synchronized machine gun that fires through the prop right here, mounted above the engine. Oh, sounds like the train is right on time. Here she comes. This is the customized hangar for the Thor's Hammer event that is currently going on. You see the counter going on right up here. Now let's take a closer look at the Yak-1 here and see what she brings to the table. Okay, here you see she's got a single 20mm ShVak cannon. That's what's mounted in the hub. And she starts off with a 7.62mm ShKas machine gun. I recommend getting that upgraded to the 50 cal as fast as you can, because that really increases the firepower of this aircraft at close to medium range. For optional equipment to mount on her, I'm carrying the improved covering 2, again, to prevent damage to your wings, fuselage, and tail, because this aircraft's maneuverability is really what you're going to rely upon for survival and killing in combat with her. Lightweight airframe in order to increase that maneuverability edge even further, and I mounted the improved radiator on her because you're going to be using a lot of boost in order to take brief excursions into fighting vertically and to maintain your energy while constantly turn fighting your opponents. For consumables, it's a standard lineup. For your weapons, I recommend universal ammunition across the board to increase chances of causing a fire on your enemy. And then, of course, pneumatic restarter, first aid dressing, and manual fire extinguisher. The standard loadout for PvP engagements. For pilot skills, I don't have a very advanced pilot here, but I've taken the aerobatics expert ability in order to increase her edge in maneuvering combat. Beyond that, she has centrally mounted guns, so the gun accuracy abilities are not of much use to her. I would think that maybe the engine's abilities would be something good to take. Also, evasive maneuvering would be good on the 3-point, because you're always maneuvering around in this thing, and that would give you some damage reduction if you're under fire while taking wild maneuvers. Aside from those handful of abilities, it's just up to your discretion what you're going to want to use. Competition for this aircraft. Other aircraft at Tier 5 that do the same thing as the Yakovlev would be things like the Spitfire and the Zero. To a lesser degree, the Lag-3, the Lag-334, and other premium turn fighters like the I-183. Out of all of these, the Yak-1 is one of the most maneuverable, but it is one of the weakest as far as its guns go. So the Yak-1 is a great aircraft to flight up with because she's an excellent tail clearer. Solo, she can still be effective, but it's hard to really claim those kills and secure a lot of shoot-downs with her just because of how weak her offensive weaponry is. But if you're dedicated and you take your shots at the proper times and you target the correct aircraft, you can get those aces to roll in, and even higher decorations. Just don't expect to get any combo decorations with her because her guns are completely inappropriate for use against ground targets. Now you'll see that I've got a series of ground target markers on mine here. That's because when the aircraft first came out, you could still carry external ordnance on her, like rockets. And I did use those when the aircraft line first came out, but I've since then stopped with that practice, even before the rockets themselves were removed from the Yak-1. I have a battle here for her, flighted up with ShDonator. However, he was in the French Merlin heavy fighter, so it really was like we were two independently operating pilots, because there wasn't a lot of crossover between what our two aircraft were doing in this fight. It's going to show you what the aircraft can do, and perhaps give you an idea of how to take one down and approach the combat with it if you do not have one of these yourself. Hope you find it enjoyable. Good hunting.